This man is no fool. He's been up since some crazy hour this morning, taking in England against India in the fourth test, the first day of. Steve Harmison has joined us live in the studio. Steve, hi to you, mate. 302 for 7 England. How do you see it?
England's day, very much England's day. The wicket looks visually horrendous. I mean, it just looks as though it hasn't been touched for such a long time. It's got great big holes and cracks in it. There's green grass clumps looking everywhere. It's played a little bit better than that once the ball got old. But that first 45 minutes to an hour when the ball was new, it caused all sorts of problems for the England batters. Zach Crawley's second ball this morning bounced off a length, hit him in the glove, and the ball pitched. Literally, the next ball pitched millimetres from that same spot, and it bounced twice to the wicketkeeper. So the unevenness of the surface tells you there was one special innings, and that was Joe Root. I don't think anybody wrote him off. I think people were questioning some of the dismissals, but I think because the surface was uneven and because the wicket wasn't as good and as flat, then Joe Root was taking that shot out the equation, that big shot out the equation, and he was more or less accumulating runs as the day went on, and it was a masterclass in giving the Indian bowlers and the Indian captain a run around.
We were talking about Joe Root just yesterday, Simon.
Yeah, we were.
A masterclass, says Steve.
No surprise, but I mean, obviously he repeatedly and regularly scores runs against India. The question was only not about Joe Root as a batsman, about the decision-making process that he made of a shot that he selected at a stage in the game, which ultimately helped contribute to the unwinding of England in that test. But this is a great knock.
Yeah, one of the it is. When somebody gets a big score, everybody goes over the top. It's like when somebody scores a hat-trick, is that the best hat-trick you've ever seen? So I think in the context of where this, and I think you'll get where the context is when the result comes. But I think when it comes to it, when both sides have had a bat on this, I think we'll realise that this is a special innings.
Have England, Steve, righted the wrong of the last test? There was loads of criticism that they were too cavalier.
When people talk about too cavalier, what is too cavalier? They're chasing 550. Yeah, do you then? I think some of the rhetoric
you can't be cavalier enough.
Yeah, but some of the sort of messages that comes out of that England dressing room sometimes does get people up. The more purists.
Yes,
the wrong way.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you want them to say? Oh no, we're just going to die in a hole and get bowled out for 120, 140. They say we're going to go for it. We're going to have a go. We're going to try and get the runs. We're not going to bat for 2 days because history will tell us we're not going to bat for 2 days. So we're going to have a go at trying to do it.
It's a good toss to win, wasn't it?
It was a great toss to win this one. But unfortunately, in the last game, they were beaten by the better side in the last game. They were beaten by the better side. In this game, well, let's see where it is. Because
this is a proper result wicket, isn't it?
Well, it's
listen to you.
I would say at 5:55 this morning, 5 minutes before lunch, I'm thinking this is a 2-day game. We were sitting there thinking this is a 2-day game. This can't go. There's no way this is going to go to Sunday because the wicket was. But then slowly but surely the ball dampened down because it got a bit older. Didn't spin as much. Joe Root and Ben Foakes put a great partnership on. Give India the run around. Now you just don't know what's going to happen tomorrow morning. They've got the new ball, so they've got a second new ball, and that will give an indication tomorrow when they come out and bowl 10 overs with a second new ball. Then England have got their new ball, and if England, which you'd expect Anderson and Robinson to put the new ball in the right area. If they do, then it could cause India.
What's a good first innings for 350, 360?
On that surface, I think we at one point we were saying 225.
Yeah.
We were saying 225. England, right. I think, have got above.
But given what we know now,
it's gone a bit. But I still think 250 is.
I'm
where
hearing
England
this
was.
afternoon's session was the slowest of the Baz Ball era.
I don't care. Somebody said to me that's the slowest Joe Root and the slowest partnerships. Joe Root, Ben. I'm not bothered. It was about getting runs on the board. England are 2-1 down in the series. They need to win the test match. They've won the toss, and if they can put runs on the board, scoreboard pressure on a wicket which has got a lot in it for the bowlers.
Yeah.
Where does Joe Root sit now in world-class batsmen? Talks a lot about world-class athletes today.
In England terms?
In world terms?
In world terms, I think in England terms, he's not at number 3, he's not at number 2, he's at number 1. I think in the history of the game, he is going to go down there, right up there. I think the way he's, for me,
batting at 4 is better.
Batting at 4 is better. I think when you're talking about the likes of Messi and Ronaldo in football, the two of them are far superior than anybody else. He is in that bracket, and he's been in that bracket for so long. I'm not just saying that because he's got 100. I've been saying that for a lot of years. Joe Root, for me, is the best player I think we've ever produced.
England 302 for 7. Incidentally,
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.